The summer heat in Boulder, Colorado always hit different. Not the oppressive humidity of back east, but a dry, baking warmth that seeped into everything. Classes at the University of Colorado Boulder were out, most of my friends had split, and it was just me, holed up in my small apartment near Pearl Street. My only company was Merlin, a scruffy, stray cat I had taken in a few months back. He was a creature of habit, always by my feet, a purring shadow. It started subtly, like a bad dream you can't quite shake off. One evening, I was heading down to the ATM, the one near the old Chautauqua Auditorium. Needed to pull out some cash for rent. It was maybe 9, still a hint of orange in the sky, but as I turned onto the bike path, it was like someone flipped a switch. Pitch black. No street lights. The path was usually well lit, a popular spot even after dark. I fumbled for my phone, the flashlight beam cutting a weak circle in the oppressive gloom. That's when I heard it. A faint mewling. Then I saw him. A cat. Identical to Merlin. Same patchy black fur, same little notch in his ear. He was just sitting there, in the middle of the path, staring at me with those luminous green eyes. I called out, "Merlin? What are you doing here, buddy?" He didn't move. Just stared. My heart gave a little jolt. Merlin was definitely back at the apartment, curled up on my bed. I took a step closer, and the cat simply dissolved into the shadows. No sound, no scurry. Just gone. My blood ran cold, but I tried to rationalize it. Exhaustion. Imagination. Anything to make it make sense. I shook it off and kept walking, the darkness pressing in. When I finally reached the ATM, I saw them. A group of about 6 girls, high school age maybe, dressed in identical black sundresses. They were walking slowly, in single file, down the sidewalk across the street. Their faces were blank, expressionless. What struck me most was the silence. Their footsteps made no sound on the pavement. Not a whisper, not a rustle of their dresses. They just glided. It was genuinely creepy, like something out of a silent film. I watched them until they rounded the corner of the municipal building and disappeared. On the way back, the darkness was even thicker. I heard a rustling in the bushes, then saw a flash of black fur. More cats. Not 1, not 2, but a dozen or more, all sleek and dark, darting through the undergrowth. My mind reeled back to the cat on the path. Were these all like him? I sped up, a knot forming in my stomach. Then I saw it, splayed out on the grass near a cluster of pine trees. A dead rabbit. Its eyes were wide, lifeless, and its fur was matted with something dark. There were more. 3, 4, 5 dead rabbits, all in a small radius. The black cats were everywhere, silent, watching me with those blank, unblinking eyes. I broke into a run. The image of the dead rabbits burned into my mind. I burst into my apartment, slamming the door shut, my breath ragged. Merlin looked up from the sofa, stretching. He seemed perfectly normal, oblivious to the terror I'd just experienced. I hugged him tight, burying my face in his soft fur, trying to convince myself it was just a bad night. For days after, I felt off, like a low hum vibrating just beneath the surface of reality. The streets of Boulder, usually buzzing with tourists and students, felt quieter. The traffic on Foothills Parkway seemed to flow smoother, almost too smooth. And sometimes, just for a second, I'd see them. Those silent girls in their black dresses, always on the periphery, always disappearing before I could get a good look. I tried to tell my friend Liam, who lived across town near the Naropa University campus. He was usually good for a laugh, a dose of common sense. I drove over to it, pulling up to his apartment complex. The parking lot was empty. Eerily empty. I got out, a prickle of unease on my neck. His security cameras, usually rotating slowly, were all smashed. The lenses shattered, wires dangling. I hammered on his door. No answer. I called his phone. Straight to voicemail. A cold dread seeped into my bones. This wasn't normal. Then I heard it. A faint, rhythmic chanting. It was low, guttural, seeming to emanate from the wooded area behind Liam's complex. My curiosity, mixed with a growing sense of terror, pulled me towards it. The chanting grew louder as I pushed through the thick undergrowth, and then I saw them. A clearing. And a nightmare. Dozens of people, cloaked in black robes and suits, stood in a circle. In the center, a crude altar fashioned from stacked stones. Dimly lit candles flickered around its base, casting dancing shadows. And on it, a terrified, struggling cat. Others already dead lay at the base of the altar. Caged cats, drugged and motionless, were lined up nearby. And one of them was my Merlin. A wave of pure, unadulterated rage surged through me, overriding the fear. "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" My voice cracked, but it cut through the chanting. All heads turned. Blank faces, just like the girls. But there was something else in their eyes now. Something predatory. I spotted Merlin's cage. It was unlocked. Adrenaline surged. I darted forward, grabbing the cage, pulling it free. The cultist moved. Not fast, but with an unsettling, deliberate slowness, closing in on me. I scrambled backwards, clutching Merlin, who was barely conscious, his eyes glazed over. As I tried to make my escape, a girl stepped out from the circle. It was one of them, one of the silent girls. Her voice, when she spoke, was flat, devoid of emotion, yet it resonated deep within me, like a bell rung underwater. "You're disturbing the cycle, tainted one." Then, a sudden, crushing pressure. It started in my feet, a leaden weight, spreading upwards. My legs locked, my arms stiffened. I tried to scream, but my throat was useless. Complete paralysis. I could only watch, helpless, as two cult members, their faces obscured by deep hoods, moved towards me. They grabbed me, one on each arm, and dragged me towards a dark van parked at the edge of the clearing. The last thing I saw before they threw me in was my Merlin, still in his cage, left behind on the forest floor. And the eyes of the cultists, all those blank, unblinking eyes watching me. The ride was endless. The paralysis held me captive. I drifted in and out of consciousness, the low hum of the chanting a constant, distant drone in my ears. When I finally woke, I was in a room I didn't recognize. Small, concrete walls, a single dim light bulb. The cage was there. But inside wasn't Merlin. It was the other cat. The one from the bike path. The one identical to my Merlin. He was looking at me with those familiar green eyes, but they held a new, chilling emptiness. The chanting was still there. Faint, far away, but always there. My reality felt stretched, warped. The lines between what was real and what was a nightmare blurred. I saw black cats in my peripheral vision. Always. Always watching. I don't know where I am, or what they want, but I know one thing for sure. I'm not in Boulder anymore. And the cycle, it's still turning.